Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're setting up the ultimate showdown between two of the most incredible and entirely free AI tools out there right now, Google's Gemini and Notebooklm. Look, if you've been banging your head against the wall trying to figure out which tool actually fits your daily workflow, you are in the exact right place. Let's get into it.
You know, it can be really confusing to decide when to use each of these, because on the surface at least, they have a massive amount of feature overlap. Both have AI chats, both process information, both generate content, so it's kind of hard to tell them apart, right? But here's the secret. Depending on the exact task you want to accomplish today, there is a clear, definitive winner.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to break this down use case by use case. We'll look at the core AI philosophy, visuals and presentations, studying and learning tools, content creation and coding, and finally, how to choose your AI champion.
First up, the core AI philosophy.
To really understand how to choose the right tool for the job, you have to look under the hood at how they're fundamentally built. Think of Gemini as your general-purpose assistant. It answers questions using an open web architecture, drawing from its massive training data and pulling real-time information from the internet. Notebooklm, on the other hand, well, it operates more like a specialized closed-loop sandbox. It actually requires you to upload your own sources first, things like PDFs, Word documents, or specific web links, before it can do anything at all for you.
And that perfectly captures the entire philosophy behind Notebooklm. It's intentionally grounded in the sources you provide. It isn't trying to be this all-knowing oracle of the entire internet. Instead, it aims to be the absolute best possible assistant for going incredibly deep on your specific material. It keeps its answers anchored tightly to what you feed it, which honestly makes it absolutely perfect for research summaries, where you need exact, reliable details without the fluff.
Moving right along, let's talk about visuals and presentations.
Now, right off the bat, I gotta say, if you just need a standard, standalone AI image, Gemini is your only choice here. Notebooklm simply doesn't have a standard image generation button. But when it comes to organizing data visually, like, say, creating an infographic, wow, it's a completely different story. If you ask both of them to create an anime-style guide on how to juggle, they both produce these fantastic, visually striking results. But the way they actually get there, that changes everything about which one you should choose.
With Notebooklm, the process is pretty much entirely frictionless. You literally just add your sources, hit the dedicated infographic button inside the studio, choose your orientation, pick your level of detail from a quick menu, and boom, generate. It is insanely fast, and honestly, it feels kind of fun because there's absolutely zero complex prompting required.
So here is the crucial takeaway. Notebooklm gives you fast, super easy, one-click generation that's going to get you great results like 90% of the time. But Gemini wins if you need precise control. Why? Well, because after Gemini generates an infographic, you can actually ask the AI to make specific stylistic edits and changes to it right there in the chat. And that's a feature Notebooklm just doesn't offer yet.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how the competition completely shifts when we start talking about full presentations. If you need to build a slide deck, your AI selection becomes incredibly clear.
Notebooklm holds absolute dominance in this category. Literally, with just a few button clicks, it effortlessly creates stunning, customizable presenter slides, like a really beautiful sketch note-style deck. And if you don't like a particular slide, no problem. There's a simple revise button right there to tweak titles or styles. Gemini, on the other hand, well, it requires you to manually activate its Canvas tool and prompt it very specifically. And the result? It's kind of clunky, vastly inferior, and frankly, there's just no competition here at all. Notebooklm wins hands down.
And honestly, that gap only widens when we look at video tools. Notebooklm features this amazing video overview tool that generates rich, immersive, 4-minute cinematic educational explainers. It's perfect for breaking down complex topics, like the actual mechanics of juggling. And Gemini? Well, it really struggles to make anything beyond generic 8-second visual template clips. So, for explaining a concept visually, Notebooklm is 100% your tool.
All right, let's jump into Section 3, Studying and Learning Tools. So, if you haven't noticed a pattern yet, this is the area where Notebooklm truly flexes its specialized strength. Say you're cramming for a huge exam, or maybe you're just trying to master a new topic while commuting to work. Notebooklm has this standout feature called Audio Overview. It literally generates a hyper-realistic two-person podcast-style debate or deep dive based entirely on your notes. You can listen to it right on their mobile app while driving or hitting the gym. It sounds like absolute magic, and Gemini just lacks this feature entirely.
But it doesn't stop at audio. I mean, Notebooklm offers undisputed victories across the board when it comes to learning. With literally one click, you get expansive mind maps that map out all your concepts, you get automatic data tables, quizzes with helpful hints, and these incredible flashcards that actually track your wrong answers and continuously retest you on them until you finally get them right. If you try to build anything like that in Gemini using its Canvas tool, you're going to get terrible, uninformative mind maps and a really tedious manual setup process. For studying, Notebooklm is completely unmatched.
Okay, moving on to Section 4. Content creation and coding.
All right, let's shift the narrative here for a second, because while Notebooklm completely rules the learning landscape, there are some crucial use cases where Gemini absolutely destroys it. If your goal is to write a dynamic blog post, draft up complex emails, or even build a working app, your tool selection has to change. Sure, Notebooklm does have a reports feature for things like study guides and blog posts, but the output is completely static. You get your text, and it's just kind of stuck there in the interface.
Now, this is exactly where Gemini's Canvas tool unlocks massive potential. When you ask Gemini to write that same blog post, but with Canvas enabled, you can highlight specific text, ask for dynamic real-time edits, and just refine the output beautifully. And even better than that, Gemini can generate fully functioning interactive apps and websites. Remember that juggling example from earlier? Gemini can actually code a working, interactive app to track your juggling progress right there in the browser. Those are complex coding and dynamic editing tasks that Notebooklm simply cannot do.
And finally, Section 5, Choosing Your AI Champion. So, we have covered a lot of ground today. Let's synthesize all of this into a practical scorecard so you know exactly how to select your tools going forward. For fast infographics, slide decks, and any form of studying or audio learning, Notebooklm is your winner. But for standalone images, coding, interactive apps, and dynamic iterative writing, Gemini definitely takes the crown. Oh, and here's a pro tip for you. You can actually use Notebooklm as a source inside of Gemini. Yeah, that means if you need the highly grounded specific facts from your notebook, but you also want the broad world knowledge and dynamic coding of Gemini, you can combine them for the ultimate powerhouse workflow.
Ultimately, it all boils down to this golden rule. Choose Notebooklm when you're optimizing for speed, automated learning, and just beautiful one-click assets. But choose Gemini for deep productivity, complex content creation, and coding. Basically, anytime you need strict control and are willing to spend the time prompting, editing, and really refining that output.
Which leaves you equipped with a perfect mental framework for the next time you sit down to work. Before you type a single prompt, just ask yourself, am I optimizing for speed and learning, or am I optimizing for deep control and productivity today? Choose your champion wisely, and I'll see you in the next explainer.